So let's start our today's Brajmandal Parikrama by offering our prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So where you are, Hare Krishna. Ankit, where are you?
At home, Prabhuji.
Very good. Stay at home. Chandraprabha Mataji, where are you?
We were there at Kedarnath and Badrinath. Now we'll move to Kamyavana.
Okay. At least you're alive and awake, not asleep. Probably like Ankit. Ankit is a little asleep. We will wake him up. Ankit, chant once loudly Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, good. Ankit is awake. So actually, let's start with the glorification with of the place that we are visiting. So it is mentioned in the Vraja Ritti Chintamani. Because of the many charming Kamya forests, groves and lakes, where Lord Krishna relishes the sweetness of his pastimes, this place is known as Kamyavan. Kamyavan ki! So we are going to Kamyavan, and it's a very beautiful forest. This is a place called Vimala Kund. And Mataji yesterday actually has taken you to Kamyavan and has explained many things apart from Badrinath and Kedarnath. So what I will do is, since you have already been to Badrinath and Kedarnath, let me start with a quiz first. How many forests we have covered so far? 4? Which one? Kamyavan is now. Right now we are in Kamyavan. No, we have not reached. Bhola, he told. Madhuban also. Talvan. Okay, I got the answer here, but anybody online, Chandraprabha Mataji?
Yes, we have been to Madhuban.
Yes. What happened in Madhuban?
Yes, Prabhuji. Then Talvan, Bahulavan.
Talvan? Then
Talvan.
Okay. Then
Bahulavan.
which one you go? Bahulavan anyways, easy. Bahulavan, Madhuban, Talvan
and Kamyavan yesterday Mataji did. Took us to Kamyavan.
Okay. Granted. Mataji is active, alert, awake. Okay. So, you're right. This is the 4th forest. And just to let you know where we are on the map. So, this is Vrindavan. Okay. And then this is the Agra Mathura highway. So, you have to come to this to reach Akrura Ghat and then again come back. And we reached Mathura. From Mathura, we went to Madhuban. From Madhuban, we went to Talvan. From Talvan, we went to Bahulavan here. So we traveled some distance. From Bahulavan to Pait. And from Pait to Gantholi. From Gantholi, we went to Radhakund. And from Radhakund, we went to Govardhan. And from Govardhan, Mataji took you to Kamyavan here, quite far. This is Kamyavan. Right? Kamyavan is the largest forest out of the 12 forests. And a very special forest. A lot of wonderful pastimes which happened. Of course, as I mentioned, and the glorification goes, the most important thing is this is the place where all our spiritual desires get fulfilled. Right? So any desire that one has, if he goes to Kamyavan, then his desires get fulfilled. So like the gopis, they had desire to have rati with Krishna, and this all got fulfilled. But apart from those spiritual desires, of course, we need to have the purity of desire in our heart. What we are asking to Krishna is very, very important. What should we ask Krishna is of great concern. There is one thing which happened, which is very interesting in Kamyavan. It is related to the Pandavas. Mataji also mentioned, does anybody remember? Chandraprabha Mataji, anything related to Pandavas you remember which Mataji told yesterday?
I think Pandavas, they stayed there during their exile.
Okay. What else happened? Related to Pandavas. There is one interesting thing which happened actually, which often we quote.
Yudhishthir.
Yes, Yudhishthir. What did Yudhishthir? Yudhishthir is right.
Remained there in Banvas there.
Poor Yudhishthir. Why he remained there? You're close. Yudhishthir, you heard right. But I think after that, I forgot. It has got to do with Yudhishthir.
He had to ask the question, bro.
Who asked questions? Huh? Who?
Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir has answered the questions on what exactly dharma is, where...
to who is asking questions?
I don't remember that name.
Yes.
I think Yaksh, Prabhuji.
Okay, good. So this is the place, Kamyavan, where that famous pastime of Pandavas being sent by Yudhishthir to fetch some water because Mother Kunti was thirsty, and one by one they went to get water. So that place where they went to get water is called Pancha Pandava Kunda or Dharma Kunda, and it was inhabited by a Yaksha who asked a lot of questions. Of course, we spoke about the one which is known to all of you, or many of you would have heard, which is the most wonderful thing in this world, right? Which is the most wonderful thing in this world when Yaksha asked, Yudhishthir answered, Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam sesa sthavaram icchanti kim ascharya mathoparam. Ahani ahani bhutani. Every moment. Ahani is a very small unit of measure of time. It's less than a second. Ahani ahani. In that smallest unit of measure, maybe it's just like blinking your eyes. Little more than that. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalaya. In that smallest fraction of time also, living entities in this material world are making a journey to Yamalaya. Means they are dying. Some part of the world we don't know, right? Every second, every moment, people are dying. Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam sesa sthavaram. People who are remaining here, sesa sthavaram icchanti. They think that they are not going to die. They will live here permanently, eternally, with all happily ever after. HEA, right? All the movies end with that. And they lived happily ever after. How many people really live happily ever after? Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti hi yamalayam sesa sthavaram icchanti kim ascharya mathoparam. What is more wonderful than this? That in our life, we see so many people dying, known, unknown, heard, unheard, related, unrelated, yet we don't think we are going to die. That is one of the questions which was asked by Yaksha, and Yudhishthir Maharaj answered that. There is one more question which I want you to think over today, because we are in Kamyavan, and this pastime happened in Kamyavan. It's worth meditating on this. The question asked by Yaksha is, the body belongs to whom? Whom does the body belong to? Other, it's you. Yeah, your body, no? Whose body is it? Then? Whose body? Yes? It's not your body. Brahma. Why Brahma? He created. What he created? He created human beings. Can Brahma create? Can he create? Really? Okay. Okay, you can think Brahma is not the right answer. Your body, right? It's your body now you're saying. I don't know. Mataji, whom does it belong to? Your body. Ankit?
It belongs to God, Prabhuji, because He only created us.
Okay, yeah, better. That's the best answer. Everything is God's own. Very interesting. Actually, the pastime that we are remembering throughout this Damodar month, which involves Mother Yashoda binding Krishna, and then subsequently Krishna releasing these two cursed people. Who are they? Nala and Kuvera. Yeah, Nala, Kuvera and Manigriva, the sons of Kuvera. There is a conversation which has happened between Narad Muni and Nala, Kuvera and Manigriva. So we will take from Bhagavad. Very interestingly, this is fortunately displayed. I didn't want that to be displayed. So for the time being, give me some. I should not see this. Should not see. Oh. Okay. So the question that Narad Muni is posing, Deha Kim Annadatu Swam Nisketur Matur Evacha Matu Piturva Balinaha Kretur Agnehe Sunopiva. This is from Bhagavatam. So this is happening when those two sons of Kuvera were engrossed in playing with the women naked, oblivious to the presence of a saintly person like Narad Muni. So he's telling, who does this body belong to? Deha Kim Annadatu Swam Nisketur Maturevacha Matu Piturva Valinaha Kretur Agnehe Sunopiva. Where is our Sridhar? Is not there. Usually I've seen at least in Maharashtra, people have their name and then followed by father's name. Right? Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, Dilip Balwant Vengsarkar, Sunil Manohar Gavaskar, all the cricketers, their names I know. Okay, Sridhar Srishail Kodate. Right, so because the father gives the seed, so father says, this is my body, my child. The body belongs to me. That's why people put their name. Like I said, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. But does it really belong to father? Because mother says, I gave birth. Maybe the seed is father's, but I gave birth. So it belongs to me. My body, my child. Matuhu. So some people say the daughters are more attached to father, the sons are more attached to mother. So it belongs to mother. But the equations change when a person gets married. Or even before marriage, the son has to go for studies somewhere outside. Or he has to go and work somewhere. So if he has to go and work, if he has to go and study somewhere, mother cannot be there, father cannot be there. So mother and father cannot be completely authorized claimant. They can't claim that the body of my child is mine. To a certain extent, they can say. The next claimant is the wife. After the marriage is done, wife says, you belong to me. Forget about your mother and father. Over. That chapter is closed. So wife claims her possession on the body of the husband. But wife cannot go beyond the labyrinth of house to the crematorium. It's not allowed. So then it doesn't belong to wife also. So then it says Annadatu. There is one Annadatu, which I didn't speak. Annadatu is, at least I remember when I was working in 2001, 2002, those times. Nowadays, I don't see that so often, but those days, if you travel in some airlines, those days it's Indian Airlines or Jet Airways. No other airlines. Maybe this came a little later, Kingfisher. So you travel in these airlines, you'll find in those days, many people will have their tag, Infosys, Wipro, and whatever, TCS. And then when you put your bag in the cabinet, then you'll ask him, are you working in TCS? Oh, yes, you can see, TCS employee. And as if, my big identity is, I'm working for TCS. You got to know this. Somewhere, some t-shirt, somewhere, everywhere, some TCS logo, this thing will be there. So that people should know that I'm an employee of TCS. We feel proud. And they say we forgot to take out our tag. How can you forget to take out your tag when you're not going to your office? It's basically to show that I'm an Infosys employee. I'm a Wipro employee. And so people go, when they enter into the office, they will show their badge and then they'll enter and they'll feel proud and they'll walk in. For 8 hours, they'll work and they'll consider wearing that tag for the rest of the time also. Annadatu. So I belong to TCS. I identify my body that, this body, I'm working for TCS. TCS is giving me money. So this is belonging to TCS. But not true, because TCS cannot claim complete proprietorship of the body. Then it is telling Deha Kim Annadatu Swam. Swam. One Swam is there, we'll come to that, but there is Nisketur Maturevacha Matuh Piturva Valinaha Kretur Agnehe Sunopiva Agnehe. Now, when the body is, it is dead body, then fire takes possession. It claims proprietorship. It burns the body to ashes. So is it the fire who takes the ownership of the body? Or if it is not burnt, then it is eaten by dogs or some other animals. Can they claim that the body belongs to them? So it's a very powerful question. So we think that the body is mine. Father is thinking this is mine. Mother is thinking it is hers. Or the person who's working in a company, he's thinking that body belongs to him. Or somebody who's working in a army, in line of control, who's standing, who's risking his life, he thinks that his body belongs to his motherland. Isketur Maturevacha Matu Piturva Balinaha Kretur Agne Sunopi. So here comes the question for you, which is asked by Narad Muni. It's a multiple choice question. Question is, who does this body belong to? And the choices are dash. The choices are A, father, B, mother, C, company, D, nation, E, fire. There's more than 4. F, soul. Soul. Okay. None of the above is not there. Huh? A or C? A or C. Okay, multiple, you can choose more than one. A or C? Is it A or C or A and C? Question is, who does this body belong to? First option is father. Second option is mother. Third is, okay, wife I forgot. C is wife. D is your company. E is nation. F is Agni. And G is soul.
Should be soul.
Soul. It's trick or treat. You can choose. What is your answer? You think from the choices given. A and B, mother and father. Okay, very interestingly, actually the answer Prabhu said none of the above, which was not given. That's the whole thing. The question is, why doesn't it belong to the soul? Because you said soul. You keep changing, so soul is constant, right? You are constant within. You leave it behind, but soul is permanent, no? So the soul is residing in this body. So it is his. Body is which other people? Parents, what do they control your body? How do they control? That is okay, but they're not doing anything to your body. Now you have to think. So it doesn't belong to the soul. Why? Soul is eternal, okay. Body keeps dying every day, okay. Okay, so okay, but where is the soul? In your heart. Which heart? The body, the body that belongs to you. In that body, in the heart region, the soul is there. Correct? So it belongs to soul. No, why? It's like a hotel water. Mataji, what is your answer? You also said soul. Chandraprabha Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, soul.
Soul, why?
Because this body will die. This body will go to 5 elements, and the soul will always be there. So it belongs to soul.
It doesn't belong to soul because soul and matter, they are completely different materials. They are not, there is no common distinction between soul and matter. Okay. The soul presently is residing in this body, and when we say soul leaves the body, that also only happens for self-realized souls. They leave, but other people who are outside, who are attached to this material things, they don't want to leave. I mean, the soul doesn't want to. Soul is so deeply identifying with the body. The person who is about to die also doesn't want to leave. There's a very beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. It says, Shrotram Chakshus Parshanam Cha Rasanam Grahanam Evacha Adhishthaya Manaschayam Vishayan Upasevate. Shrotram Chakshus Parshanam Cha. In this body, we are so used to, so conditioned to seeing certain things, hearing certain things, touching certain things, tasting certain things, smelling certain things, and it is all revolving around our subtle body mind that we don't want to leave this place. We don't want to leave this body. So this is a very interesting question. Of course, Narad Muni makes us think, and he's making the sons of Kuvera also think. And while alive, does this body belong to its employer, to the self, to the father, the mother, or the mother's father? Does it belong to the person who takes it away by force, to the slave master who purchases it, or to the sons who burn it in the fire? Or if the body is not burned, does it belong to the dogs that eat it? Among the many possible claimants, who is the rightful claimant? He's not answered this, and we will see. But he makes one statement, not to ascertain this, but instead to maintain the body by sinful activities is not good. Let's go to the next verse. Okay, again the verse is displayed. We should not be seeing. Don't see Madhav. Okay. So the next verse, actually, he is telling Narad Muni, Evam sadharanam deham avyakta prabhava apyayam ko vidwan atmasat kritva hanti jantun nrite satah. Evam sadharanam deham. Actually, this body is very ordinary. Nobody in this world can claim proprietorship of it completely. Avyakta prabhava apyayam. Avyakta, it was unmanifested before our birth. So let's say we are here for 30 years, 40 years, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. Before that, this body was avyakta, unmanifested state. It became manifested, prabhava, ko vidwan atmasat kritva hanti jantun nrite satah. So Narad Muni is telling that if this body doesn't belong to anyone, it is produced by the unmanifested nature and again annihilated and merged in the natural elements. Therefore, it is the common property of everyone. Under the circumstances, who but a rascal claims this property as his own, and while maintaining it, commits such sinful activities as killing animals just to satisfy his whims. Unless, this is Prabhupada's purport, Prabhupada's translation, 10.10. So Prabhupada is saying, unless one is a rascal, one cannot commit such sinful activities. Anti jantun nrite satah. I'm sure you remember that drama, which the play that was shown by Balram Prabhu in one of the lectures of Indra being cursed to become pigs. Right, at that time, Indra has become the pig and he is living with his other piglets and the she pig or his wife and in family in a gutter, beautiful gutter. And they are enjoying the life, and then Brahma realized the post of Indra is vacant and he comes down to Indra and he says, well, what would have we addressed? Mr. Pig, no, Pig Prabhu, you are actually Indra. So Pig Prabhu responded, can you tell me the etymology of the word Indra? I've never heard of. What is the meaning? Where did it come from, Indra? So he said, Indra is actually the king of heaven. You are that man. You are the king of the heaven. You don't belong to this place. Okay, nice, very nice. That I'm king of heaven. But can you tell me, will I get a nice gutter like this, that one that I am having here? Will it be like that, or how is it going to be in heaven? So Brahma is confused. He's saying, "Arey, oh fool, Indra, what are you saying? You are, rotting in this gutter. I'm telling you, you're the king. You're the king of heaven, and you are asking whether you have a gutter like that where you are staying right now." Then Indra further, is confused, and he says, "What about my foodstuff? Will I get foodstuff like what I'm getting fresh? Those whatever you want to call." There's very, the fragrance is there and everything. I'm getting it here nicely. Will I get this as my breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So this is what is our conditioning, right? It's so strongly, deeply absorbed in our bodily concepts of life. The first two things that we ask is whether I'll get accommodation, which is of what I'm living in this present world, the same way. All the comforts will be there or not. And the second thing is the food stuff. Roti, kapda, makan, right? Kapda is little, you can manage. He's not getting winter clothes, is managing. Roti, makan to chahiye. Jaise hum log, whatever we are eating, whatever the comforts that I need, it should be there. So this is the problem. And it's very deep rooted. But what Narad Muni is telling, this body, after all, is produced by the unmanifested nature and again annihilated and merged in the natural elements. Therefore, it is the common property of everyone under the circumstances. So how can somebody do sinful activities? How can somebody engage this body in sense gratification? Under the circumstances, who but a rascal claims this property as his own and while maintaining it commits such sinful activities? Unless one is a rascal, one cannot commit such sinful activities. This question was asked by Yaksha also. Who does this body belong to? Of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj says Pancha Mahabhuta, like it is made up of these 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements. And Yaksha was satisfied. But the same question is asked here by Narad Muni. Very interestingly, when this Nalakubera and Manigriva, they got liberated, they say a prayer. And this prayer is our meditation for this forest Kamyavan. The prayer is very nice. Now that I know that this body is a common property of so many people, it's a sadharanam, and nobody can claim proprietorship of this body, how this body should be used, engaged. And this is what the two sons of Kubera say, Vani gunanu kanthane, Vani gunanu kathane, Vani gunanu kathane, Shravanau kathaya, Hastau cha karmasu, Manastava padayornaha, Smrityam sirastava nivasa jagat praname, Drishti satam darshanestu bhavat tanuna. So, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, after being liberated, after having understood their problem, and when they are bowing down to Krishna, they are saying this wonderful prayer. Vani gunanu kathane. Vani, our speech, our ability to speak, should be used for glorifying Krishna. Vani gunanu kathane. Shravanu kathaya. And the hearing should happen for the glorification of the Lord. Shravanu kathaya. When we hear Krishna katha, it purifies our existence. Hastau cha karmasu manastava padayorna. Hastau cha karmasu. Hastau, our hand, should be used in devotional services, in rendering devotional service. Manas tava padayor na smrityam. Manas tava padayor. Mind should be engaged in the lotus feet of Krishna. Tava padayor na smrityam. Always remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. Manas tava padayor na smrityam. Shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. Shiras, our head, should bow down. Shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. Jagat praname, because the Lord is all pervading. Shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. So the head should bow down before the Lord who is present in all directions. Shiras tava nivasa jagat praname. Drishti satam darshane. Drishti, our vision, satam actually refers to the devotees, Vaishnavas. Drishti satam darsane. When we see another Vaishnava, our drishti vision becomes purified. The word satam is used, dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmat saranam satam. Right? Paramo nirmat saranam satam. Dharma projita kaitavo atra paramo nirmat saranam satam. That word satam is 100% pure. So Prabhupada's translation is Vaishnavas. Drishti satam darsane stu bhavat tanunam. And looking at the beautiful deity form of the Lord. This is the best use or the right use of the body. So on this day, let's read the translation. Henceforward, may all our words describe your pastimes. Henceforward. So when they came to their senses, and a person comes to his senses only when he comes in touch with a pure devotee. So he is telling, henceforward, may all our words describe your pastimes. May our ears engage in oral reception of your glories. May our hands, legs, and other senses engage in actions pleasing to you. And may our minds always think of your lotus feet. May our heads offer our obeisances to everything within this world, because all things are also your different forms. And may our eyes see the forms of Vaishnavas who are non-different from you. Drishti satam darsanestu bhavattanuna. This is the right use of the body. On this auspicious day of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, and when we were meditating throughout the day about the wonderful gifts that we have received from Srila Prabhupada, having Srila Prabhupada in our life, having a pure devotee in our life, we should also remember from this pastime which we are discussing, how do we engage our body? What is the right use of body? And to reflect who this body really belongs to. So as in the place Kamyavan, where you all are present now, which fulfills all the desires, right? All the desires get fulfilled there. Pray very wishfully, carefully. Pray very cautiously what you really want to be fulfilled. Because Kamyavan is a place where all the pastimes, all the desires, all the spiritual desires get fulfilled. So that is why it is very important to know the prayers offered by the pure devotees of the Lord. What prayers they offer, how do they offer, what mood they offer, what are they asking for. Because in our conditioned state, we don't really know what is good for us. We may think asking for money, asking for some health, well, this, my husband should live for long, this Kadwa Chauth, all, what is the use? What is the use? So on this this thought and at this place, Kamyavan, which is so pure, which is the largest forest, and where all this desires of the gopis got fulfilled, let us all pray that we follow in the footsteps of pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. That should be the goal of our life. There is no other desire but to serve Srila Prabhupada. There are other things which also happened, but not so significant. There is a temple of Vrinda Devi, beautiful temple. I wanted to show. If I have the, I don't know. I missed that. I don't want to take more time, but there is a beautiful temple of Vrinda Devi. You can visit that temple there. It's actually made by Krishna's grandson, Vajranav. And always that name Rishabhanu comes. Vajranav, and that deity was shifted, and when the Mughals, they attacked the temple of so Govindji, Gopinathji, and Madan Mohanji, they were also there in Kamyavan. They later on got shifted to Jaipur and Karoli, etc. But Vrinda Devi didn't move from that place. She didn't want to move from Kamyavan. So there is a temple of Vrinda Devi there in Kamyavan, different from the Vrinda Devi that we usually visit. Beautiful temple. You can visit that and reflect, meditate before you sleep tonight. That place of Kamyavan, what really is beneficial for me? What is that desire that I should cultivate and ask to the Lord? With this, we'll stop and we will have now Damodarashtra. Thank you for joining. Kamyavan ki Srila Prabhupada.